coming to you straight from the heart of PDAC in Toronto. Welcome to the Market Front Lines. I'm Lindsay Melchuk. Now, I've got John Weisblatt here with me, CEO of Trident Resources, and currently, wow, you have a lot going on right now. I mean, you are making some very big moves in the gold exploration area, and you're really shaping the future of mining itself. So thank you so much for sitting down with us, and just let's uncover it all, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Let's first ask, how's the show been for you so far?
Show's been busy. I expect with $5,000 gold, $6 copper, all-time high commodity prices, the show is incredibly busy. So sentiment is good. We've waited quite a long time for the cycle to come back to the sector. So it's feeling good so far.
What's your goal for this show?
So the goal for the show is to get in front of as many investors as possible.
Okay.
Share with them our story. It's a fairly new story. So we have a 12-month-old company in Trident. We have a legacy of assets. So the history there is quite long, but a brand new company, which was formed last January through the merger of three companies.
Right.
Mass Gold, Eros Resources, and Rockridge. We completed the three-way merger. We raised some money, and we got to work in the Ronge Gold Belt in Saskatchewan, which has been quite a ride. So
easy.
We closed we closed the merger at a $10 million post-money valuation.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at over $100 million of market cap today in 12 months. So
that's a phenomenal story for sure. Now, your history isn't just the last 12 months. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I'm a bit different than your typical junior resource CEO.
Tell us more.
Yeah, I come from the finance industry. I spent almost 2 decades as a portfolio manager.
Right.
So I ran a number of funds here in Toronto, and I broke away from doing that to go and build this company back in 2021. So Trident is really a 6-year overnight success.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's so good. So you also just did some financing for your exploration program.
Yeah,
Let's really dive into that one.
Yeah, for sure. So we just closed an $18.5 million bought deal financing.
Yeah.
Haywood and Research Capital, two investment banks here in Toronto, helped us out with that. That financing was premium flow through. So all of it will go into the ground this year.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so $18.5 million given our exploration costs, which are around $400 all in Canadian dollars per meter.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll drill 30 to 40,000 meters in the Ronge Gold Belt this year. And what that means is, the most significant exploration program for gold in Saskatchewan in the Ronge Gold Belt in almost 40 years since Cameco was there running their exploration program.
Wow. Okay, so Saskatchewan is not an easy land in the terms of when winter hits, winter hits. And so if you're not from Canada, I mean, Saskatchewan gets hit hard. How does that work for the drill program in winter? Can you shed some heat on that? Haha.
So the cold weather is actually better for us.
Really?
So our flagship project is called the Contact Lake Gold Project. And Contact Lake would suggest to you that there's a lake there. And there is a very rich part of the resource, which we're currently exploring, which is under the lake. And so when the lake freezes, it makes it obviously much more amenable for us to conduct our drilling program from the ice surface. So Cameco, the Contact Lake project is a past-producing, high-grade Cameco operation.
Okay.
It produced between 1994 and 1997. They produced just under 200,000 ounces of gold at a very high grade, over 6 grams per ton.
Wow.
Cameco closed the mine in 1998 because gold prices were very low, and Cameco was off building their uranium business. So they shut the mine, they decommissioned the mill, and the project went to the Saskatchewan government. It stayed there for more than 20 years until one of our companies acquired it in 2021. And so we've been very active in the cold weather, exploring for golds at Contact Lake.
Oh my gosh.
So 30 to 40,000 ounces of meters produced this year.
Right.
10,000 this winter. And we should start to have some very exciting assays to share with the market, which will be significant catalysts for shareholders in the very near term.
That's very, very cool. So, you're a newer company, we'll say. Last year here at PDAC, the feeling was, okay, we're ready to pick up. Investors came in, they started trickling in a little bit more, and they started going, okay, I want to look at this space a little bit more. Let's talk about your valuation. How has now, 12 months later from where we were in PDAC last year to this year, and now we're in a bull market. How has that helped or steadied out or whatever your valuation? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so the value proposition is clearly in the discount value in our shares. So investors might look at our stock chart or our price and suggest that or believe that they've missed out on the exponential rise in our shares, but they haven't. The value is still being surfaced through our exploration initiatives. So let's take a step back and let's deconstruct the valuation argument. There are 2 million ounces of gold in our company in Saskatchewan at 4 deposits, open pit deposits of roughly 1 gram per ton.
Right.
That 2 million ounces of gold completely and entirely excludes Contact Lake. So all of the golds and the resources historically left behind by Cameco at that old mine site is not included. At 2 million, given our enterprise value, that 2 million ounces of gold is being valued between $35 and $40 per ounce, which is a sizable discount to other gold companies of similar size in our industry. On average, those companies trade between 65 and 70. The better companies on our comparable peer group, they trade well over $100 an ounce. So at $35 to $40 per ounce on the grounds, investors are getting Contact Lake entirely for free. So we think that there is a tremendous amount of upside and leverage to the gold price in shares of Trident.
That's phenomenal right there. I just sat down with Terry Lynch here not that long ago, and he was saying, that the key takeaway from all of this, he's a board member right here in PDAC, and he said the key message is so many people still think that they've lost their chance to get in at these great stories like yours, and you just hit the nail on the head again. It's not too late. This is just the beginning still. It's still early stages. Really get in there now. So that's a really great point that you brought up for sure. Now, there is a lot of there's a lot of misunderstandings, we'll say, around gold mining, even around Saskatchewan, about the lack of education around certain companies. And with a merger like yours that came in basically, 2-3 different ways, there probably is a little bit of education that's still needed around that to bring that story together. So what is one thing that you really think the market or your investors or new investors coming in are still just not understanding?
So there's a big misunderstanding about just how great it is to operate in the province of Saskatchewan. Historically, Saskatchewan has been known for potash and for uranium.
Right.
So that has really left a lot of gold exploration cast aside by major companies. We're planning to change that. In addition to that, historically, the provincial government has not always been overly amenable towards mineral exploration in province. There's been an NDP, very social government in the past, and in modern days, that's completely been reversed. The government, the First Nations, all of the parties in Saskatchewan are overly and abundantly amenable to having companies like ours going and exploring for mineral resources. Saskatchewan is ranked number 2 by the Fraser Institute survey. I believe that it's probably the best province in Canada to conduct an exploration program.
Right.
So the biggest misunderstanding of a company like ours that really requires investor education and knowledge is just how good of an operating environment it is for an exploration company to be in Saskatchewan.
So if we were to sit here maybe 12 months out, what do you think that the catalyst moment would be for you to say, here's where we are 12 months later, check it out?
So in 12 months' time, we're going to be 30 to 40,000 more meters of exploration, which, like I said earlier, has not been conducted in this part of the province or the country for 40 years. So another 40,000 meters of exploration, more knowledge, more understanding of our deposits, and specifically with the focus on what exactly we had at Contact Lake. I think investors could be very well rewarded for patiently watching us conduct this exploration program and completing it. So we're very excited, looking forward to a lot of great things this year.
Let's flip over to community. Saskatchewan is very, very strong in the Indigenous community for sure. Tell us about the community that you're working with, how you're bringing them to the table, not just as, the beginning parts of labor, but also as the decision makers within the company.
Yeah, so for our shareholders and prospective shareholders, you must know that there's one predominant band that we deal with, and it's the Lac La Ronge Indian bands. That's the First Nations group in our area. We believe that the prior management teams and the current management teams have done a very good job at building the relationship with that group. So we were out there last summer to give a presentation on Trident, basically to introduce ourselves, to let everybody know what we were planning to do in the forthcoming months and quarters, which we did successfully. And the Lac La Ronge Indian Band is also affiliated with Kitaki, which is the commercial arm of the First Nations band that we're talking about. And Kitaki has a number of services for exploratory companies such as ours that we use. Water treatment, drilling expertise, downhole equipment, all types of infrastructure is required. So our real goal is to continue to build community relations with First Nations, establish a very good relationship with them, to use as many of the services, employ as many of the people in the province as we can, and to to be a good partner.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I think that's all the time that we do have. Thank you so much. And, it's so exciting to hear your story, and you can feel the passion coming out of your story. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Again, that was John Weisblatt, CEO of Trident Resources. You can follow the Trident on the venture as ROCK, on the OTCQB as our TRDTF, and online at tridentresourcescorp.com. Now, bold strategy, smart expansion, and a front row seat to the future of gold. Definitely a company to keep your eye on for sure. I'm Lindsay Melchuk with Appeton Media. This has been the Market Front Lines. Thank you for watching.